Hi guys, I am here today with a special guest. This is Jose and he is the ambassador of APOP for the 16th arrondissement of Paris. This is my third video actually that I'm making with APOP and I'm super excited to film it today. Today the video is going to be comparing what it's like to be an au pair for younger children and older children. So I'm going to let Jose talk a little bit about his other au pair gig that he had in the past. This is his second year au pairing.
Like Cecily said, this is my second year as an au pair. I have had experiences with both little kids and now an older kid. So my experience last year, my first year as an au pair, I was in the suburbs in Montreuil, just taking care of two little girls, ages 4 and 7. Super cute, super adorable, a lot of fun.
We out here, brushing our teeth like the big kids. We out here.
This year I'm in the city, I'm in the 16th, but I'm taking care of one 12-year-old boy, so it's very different.
So we're going to be comparing both of our situations that we currently have. I have a position where I'm watching after a 5-year-old boy. I've been with them for almost a year, a little over a year now, and I also had a gig last year, so in 2018 when I first moved to Paris, where I was watching two kids who were 9 years old and 4 years old. So I've always been with younger kids. I don't have the same experience that Jose has with watching kids who are like over 12, you said he is? No. So yeah, we're gonna be talking a little bit about that. Let's get into the video. First, we're gonna be talking about preferences. Jose, do you think you prefer au pairing for younger kids or older kids?
They both definitely have their pros and cons. Me personally, I definitely preferred last year when I took care of two little girls. It was a lot more fun. I learned a lot more French in that sense. I was their first exposure to English, but that's not to say that I'm not enjoying myself now. It's just different. I don't do as much. That's probably what I don't like the most. Whereas last year I hung out with them a lot and you get to play, you get to be a child again. Whereas now with teenagers, you know,
they're kind of in that awkward stage where they don't really know how to interact with other people, I think.
Right.
At least when I was 13, I was like kind of weird like that. So yeah, I don't know what it's like to au pair for older kids. I think it really depends on your personality as well. When you're applying to be an au pair, which is the whole reason we're making this video, I think you should really know what you're looking for when you're going into the position. For example, like Jose said, if you prefer to be more imaginative and wild and like fun and you like to come up with ideas for playing with children, I think you should definitely look for a job that is for watching younger children. And then if you are kind of more on the serious side, not really good with children, but you still want to be an au pair, maybe you should look for someone or a family that has older kids because you won't really be expected to entertain them as much. I also prefer being with younger kids as well, just because I guess you could say my personality is a bit more like loud and outgoing, so I like doing that with the children. I think it just makes the job a lot more fun. Like no day is the same, but it's never boring. The next thing we're going to be talking about is how you can kind of get your host kid to warm up to you. I don't think it's the same for younger and older kids. I guess, Jose, you could start off by saying how you kind of got your 12-year-old to kind of warm up to you.
yeah, let's see. So I guess for an older kid, what was different? Last year with the two little girls, I guess it was a lot easier because I just had to play with them. So if they have someone to play with who's older, they just think it's cool, and I guess that's a good way to bond.
Yeah, they kind of look up to you.
Yeah. Whereas this year, it was a little different. I guess it was a good 2 months of a buffering period when I first started. But now, I guess, once I stopped being so authoritarian and became more of like an older brother or friend, he loosened up a bit more. They already have people in their lives, like their parents or teachers and stuff, who are already on their case about a lot of things. So if they're able to come home and have their au pair be someone that they could just chill and talk to and help them with their homework and get around, I think they'll respect it a lot more.
So I guess what you're trying to say is for older kids, you kind of want to be more like their friend rather than someone who's like telling them what to do all the time.
Right.
Like, yeah. I think with younger kids too, they need a lot more guidance for like, oh, it's bath time now and it's dinner time now, and older kids don't need that. So
exactly.
it could be like two completely different jobs, even though we're both au pairs.
Yeah.
now we're going to be talking about the different activities we do with our host kids and what you can kind of expect when you watch a kid depending on their age. So for me, I have a 5-year-old. I started au pairing with him when he was 4. Basically, the kind of stuff we do is very simple but fun at the same time. We do a lot of puzzles, we do a lot of drawing, we play at the park all the time, especially in the summertime. We play with his friends sometimes, like little play dates. So things that me, typically as a 20-year-old, I would not go out of my way to do these things, like, you know, have a dance party and like all of this like childish stuff. But I get to do that with him, which is really cool, and I appreciate it so much.
My average day looks like him arriving, me giving him a little goûter, which is not much, just pieces of bread and some fruit, asking how his day went, finding him out current middle school drama, and then he hangs out, reads for a bit, I hang out, read for a bit, and then eventually I'll ask him to do homework, see if he needs help.
It's chill.
It's chill.
By the way, we did mention, but this is Jose's place. As an au pair, you typically either live in with the family or you get like a chambre de bonne like mine. But this is Jose's place and he gets it like with his au pair game. Next thing we're going to be talking about is authority and how it plays a role in our job. So I, like I said, have a younger kid. I am told by the host family that I'm allowed to discipline him because they don't want like that lack of discipline while they're not home. And I know a lot of host families approach this differently when they hire an au pair. Sometimes they don't want the au pair to have any role of authority in the child's life, which is like completely up to the host parents. I feel pretty comfortable having that role of authority in my host kid's life, and we're at a point now where he does respect and listen to me, and I think every au pair should get to that point where they feel like they are respected by their host kid. I know it can be a little bit tricky at the beginning.
But I think we're both pretty laid back in terms of how strict we should be or how strict the host parents might want us to be. Because I know last year, as Cecily had said, when they're younger, they do need a lot more guidance as to what's right and what's wrong. So I was definitely a lot more, I guess, strict, yeah, with the family I was with last year.
Did they allow you to give that role of authority?
Yeah, so the host family did allow me to have that role of authority, and if something happened, like a situation occurred with the girls and I would bring it up with the parents and we'd have to talk about it together as a family. But
that's so good, sense of communication.
Especially when your host parents are able to like back you up, that means that then translates to the kids that you are someone with authority. But yeah, so last year I did have that level of authority, so when the girls would fight and stuff, I would be able to take toys away or send someone to the room, something like that. Whereas this year, it's a different level of authority, but that's also my decision to do so, because I want to remain more so his friend or older brother. But it's also important to have that line that should not be crossed, so I don't know, if he's not doing his homework, okay, I'm not gonna like call his mother, but if he does something like, I don't know, this was a situation that occurred, he was throwing water balloons outside of the window towards people, and I was like, okay, no, this time we have to like...
You want to stay on his good side because you want to be that friend, but at the same time you do have to step in there and be like...
Teenagers, I mean, we've all been teenagers, so, you know, just step into your past shoes.
I think you, like when you're a teenager, you really like to see how far you can go. So I want to wrap up this video by saying I think that you should really know, like I said before at the beginning of the video, what you're looking for when you're on Au Pair World or on any au pair agency looking for a host family. I hope you guys got some insider tips from us today. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in my very next video. Bye guys.